How's it going, fight fans? It's your boy Joey G from Wrestling Headlines. We are back, and we are joined today by a very special guest. He is the MLW heavyweight champion, the Hammer, Alexander Hammerstone. Hammer, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Dude, thank you so much for joining us. I remember watching MLW at the time and your journey entering the promotion. It was truly an exciting time. Let's turn the clocks back. How did you feel about those early MLW days, becoming the inaugural national openweight champion, teaming with Dynasty, Holiday, at MJF? What were your quick thoughts on joining the promotion?
So from the time I stepped in, I was just really excited. I really wanted. I knew it was a big opportunity to start proving myself. And right off the bat, I kind of got paired with the Dynasty. And I remember at the time being kind of like not into the idea of it just because, I was like, oh man, I'm going to be this big breakout singles star, and then it's like, okay, well, you're in this faction of guys. But as things got rolling, it turned out to be like the most fun I ever had in wrestling. And it really kind of took my character on its own natural path, because I just started kind of, being myself and really having fun with the promos and stuff. And, I think the Dynasty became one of the hottest things on the show for a long period of time. And I attribute, that as kind of a really good launching pad, if you will.
I 100% agree, man. I mean, dare I say, the chemistry that the three of you had was infectious and was really a fun time to watch that group rise together and watch your journey specifically. Now, shortly after, I think you were in MLW a few months, MLW had this partnership with Pro Wrestling Noah, and you got to get sent over to Japan to compete in the N1 Victory Tournament, a very grueling tournament, round robin style, just like they do at New Japan. What was your experience wrestling out there? Was that your first time in Japan?
It was not my first time, but it was like the first extended time I'd spent out there. Other than that, I'd only been out there for less than a week at a time. So to do an extended tour like that was, definitely a little bit of a culture shock. And then also just, like you said, grueling is a good word for it because, we're on tour and it's night after night after night, bus to a new city, get your hotel, go to the venue, wrestle, get on a bus, drive to a new city. So it was pretty intense and just kind of getting thrown into the fire of working with their top guys right off the bat, right from the get-go. My first night there, I had a main event against Go Shiozaki. So it was definitely a very interesting experience. And, something I look back is probably one of my favorite experiences in pro wrestling, just because it really is kind of a trial by fire to have to be thrown in there and work with the best in the world with a language barrier, with, you don't have the comfort of, the machine of your company behind you per se, or the comfort of your own fans. So it was definitely a test, and I like to think that I kind of passed it.
Oh, I believe you more than passed it. And it was really fun to watch you represent MLW at that time. Now, your path towards becoming world champion for MLW, started pretty much from day one, but let's just say it began at Battle Riot 3. You headline their big event, you win the big match to earn the opportunity. That was also, I believe, if not the first, one of the first events MLW had back with fans. Was there any nerves for you or any of the talent during that time to wrestle in front of fans again after this long extended period of not being in front of them?
Definitely not. If anything, quite the opposite. Just because it's kind of nerve-wracking to wrestle without fans, and try to portray that same energy and that same excitement, and to convey all the emotion without having any fans to kind of bounce it off of. So to have the fans back, there was just this extreme level of excitement. I will say, I guess there was a small level of nerves as far as wondering, what kind of reaction, what people are going to get. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you always are just like, in the back of your head, you're like, oh, I know they're going to be there for me. But there's a little bit of you that's worried, like, how big is this pop going to be?
Well, I think that the Hammer was certainly one of the higher points on the show of fan reaction. A lot of people were excited to have you. I'm very excited to see you win Battle Riot and get this big shot. Let's cut to it, man. Let's cut to your major world trial triumph, where you dethroned Jacob Fatu, a champion that was dare I say, one of the most dominant in pro wrestling for the last couple of years. Now, I kind of have a two-part question. I do know that you did sustain a pretty gruesome injury during the match with Fatu. So the two-part question is, first off, how are you recovering from that injury? I know you worked War Chamber, which will be airing tonight on Vice. Did it also force any changes to the story you two were trying to tell in the ring at that time?
I'm doing good now. The thing with ankle injuries is they kind of nag on for months, you
Mm.
know. I'm just being smart, keeping it braced up while I wrestle and things of that nature. And as far as did it redirect what we were doing that night? Um, slightly here and there. I had to adjust my game and what I was doing, but I was very committed to finishing the match the way I wanted to. Not.
Mm.
There was a time when it was like, okay, well, do you just throw in the towel? Do you just, take it home early? But it was just like, no, these people have been wanting this main event for years. I'm going to deliver them a main event.
And I believe you 100%. And don't get me wrong, 100% delivered on that main event. I mean, Court Bauer called this one of the biggest matches in MLW history, and I 100% agree. And I thought, if anything, it helped the story even further and made your triumph even that much better for me as a viewer. So congratulations on that. It was a wonderful match, and it was really exciting to watch someone finally dethrone Contra's head honcho there. Now, as champion, easy part question, but like, is there anyone now on the MLW roster you're looking forward to proving that you are better than in a championship defense?
It's funny because I would say, the MLW roster has kind of been, in flux, and we've kind of been getting our feet back underneath us as far as getting back to running um, consistently ever since, the pandemic kind of threw everything out of whack. And the last taping, the War Chamber tapings, I really was like looking around the locker room and felt like, man, we have like our locker room again, like this, like, and it's a lot of new guys, a lot of new crop. So there's definitely some up and coming guys who it's just like they're going to be something great. Whether you're talking about Alex Kane or EJ Nduka
Mm.
um, or Calvin Tankman, all these guys coming up. Um, but as far as guys who have been there, people talk about even me and Richard Holiday going
Mm.
at it.
Mm.
Now
Mhm.
he's been given a title opportunity by Cesar Duran, so we never know how that's going to play out. As far as my own personal bucket list, I'm still yet to wrestle Davey Richards. He's a guy who I idolized a lot getting into the business. So now to have him in the back there, he's one of the best to ever do it. So to prove myself against him um, would be a personal achievement to myself.
I tell you what, there's truly a lot of exciting matchups in the Hammers' future. We look forward to seeing them. I only got one more question for you, sir, and I thank you again for joining me, Joey G, Wrestling Headlines. MLW is getting ready to head back to Mexico. They had this alliance with the Crash. Is there a mindset change for either you personally or like even the talent when you're performing in front of like a very different, unique audience that is Mexico? Like, does the psychology of matchups change, or do you guys stick to your guns and do what you do best?
I always kind of stay in my lane of what I do. Um, I don't necessarily try to adjust for the people around me. I've always been under the thought process of if I'm going somewhere, if I'm being booked somewhere, they're booking me. They're not booking me to act like someone they already have.
Mm, mm, mhm.
Um, but that being said, when you're wrestling in Mexico, you got to prepare for those crazy fans. The wild can happen. Uh, so you got to be a little bit careful, have your head on a swivel, and make sure you save a couple extra minutes to hit up the local pharmacy.
Well, I tell you what, Hammer, if that's not the best advice I've ever heard, I don't know what is. Listen, truly, truly, congratulations on being the top dog in MLW. We're excited to see how your title reign goes. Is there anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
I would just say follow me on all forms of social media. That's Alex Hammerstone on Instagram, Twitter, Alexander Hammerstone on Facebook, and keep up to date with everything going on in the world of MLW because we hit the ground running. We got a solid schedule coming up for the next couple months, and the best is yet to come.
The best is yet to come. MLW will be in Mexico. They will be in Dallas. They will be in Philly. They are all over the place, and we are excited to watch it. Mr. Hammerstone, thank you. Thank you very much, champ. Good luck and God bless.
Thank you very much. You take care, boss.